We are back at it again here with another video with the Invest for Tomorrow. To all the first time viewers and investors, welcome to the channel. To all subscribers, welcome back. All I ask for in return is for you to smash that like button, tell me when you watch this video. Helps out the YouTube channel and lets me know you appreciate the time and effort I put into making these videos. So here we are with the S&P 500 index. We're going to break it down today, what's going on, what the 10-year treasury is showing as well. And today has been a phenomenal day. A slight dip in the morning and things pushed upwards. Our spy bot, our latest release over at the Discord, sends us direct messages when things are looking bearish and bullish. And it sent us a bearish indicator early on in the morning. And those put options 2 to 3x. And a few minutes to an hour after, it got a bull indicator. And things have been looking strong since then in the charts. And those call options went ahead and got a 2x to 3x move so far. And if things continue, they can probably 4 to 5x going into tomorrow, guys. So that's our latest release and update, that our spy bot sent us direct messages to the Discord to keep us up to date through the volatility of the market with the clarity we deserve to maximize on opportunities. So yes, the S&P 500 index is starting to gain some strength here. The NASDAQ as well. We're going to break it all down here with Ultimate 42 Vision, the bull and bear indicators. But before we do, I want to share with you guys the home run opportunity from the weekly watch list that I mentioned a few weeks ago. And in the last 2 weeks, it's given us 2 home run opportunities through the volatility from the dips and the rips. And we're going to jump right into it here with the S&P 500 index and everything going on with the NASDAQ and the 10-year treasury as well. So the home run of the week was phenomenal and beyond expectations. We have opportunities for swing traders, day traders, long-term traders. I know we talk a lot about the daily opportunities, but we also have weekly opportunities and swing trade and long-term opportunities within the community. And this turned out to be phenomenal, giving us 2 home run opportunities in the last 2 weeks. If you want to get on early with us every single morning or every single week before these stocks take off, check out the link down below in the description to the Discord, and by joining, you'll become part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together. So this is the stock I mentioned back on the 17th, ASTR. It was going to have a launch on January 18th based off speculation, different articles. Turned out it got postponed. And if we go ahead and take a look at the chart, how things reacted, you could see how the postponement affected it. So let's go ahead and look here at the breakdown. So after I mentioned it, it pulled downwards, hit a lowest point after the first time I mentioned it, pulled back up with strength, got that bull indicator, and hit a 20% plus run in just 2 days from that dip. Dipped back down to new all-time lows, and this was the second dip. Reversed with strength, got that bull indicator, and took off with strength going into today for a highest point of 40% plus so far. So between the 2 opportunities on the dips and rips, with 42 Vision and the clarity of the bull and bear indicators for extra confirmation, it has given an opportunity of 60% plus collectively, guys. If you guys want to get on early with us, whether it's daily or weekly opportunities, check out the link down below in the description to the Discord, and we look forward to having you join us. So here we are with the S&P 500 index based off the 30-minute, and things have kind of double bottomed. And if you look at a lot of charts overall in the market, things pulled back, they jumped up, pulled back again, and double bottomed at these 2 points, and things have been looking pretty strong. Pull up any chart in the stock market and it will kind of draw something out along these lines. Now, a lot of people would argue this is a double bottom, but this isn't a complete one, right? It was kind of halfway there because it was 42.91 here and the lows here were 42.22. It needs to actually retest that low and bounce off of it from way down here and then come back up. But things are slightly pulling upwards, right? We've seen it for the last several days. Now, one of the biggest things that created a catalyst for this to move higher towards the end of last week was the fact that Apple reported some pretty strong earnings. Now, back to back the last 2 days, there's been a lot of inflows because a lot of stocks are looking pretty discounted, right? If you actually look at everything going on, how things pulled back, a lot of stocks are down 20% plus. Some are even 50% plus down, and some are even reaching towards 70% plus to the downside, right? They still look kind of elevated, but a lot of them are at discounted rates. and a lot of hedge funds, institutional investors are piling on in, and a lot of the pricing in of future rate hikes are already seen here in the charts. It doesn't mean that we've bottomed, but things are going to try to rally for some time. I stated that in the last several videos. I stated it all of last week, and I also shared how the 10-year treasury was showing the reason behind this whole entire move, right? Things were inflecting downwards. They hit highs here of 185. They went down to the 177. We hit lows yesterday and today all the way down to 174, but we're spiking up back to 181 just as fast. So just as fast as we've been going down, all it takes is one spike for this to actually destroy any momentum on the S&P 500 index and on the NASDAQ as we've seen it. So is this a true and strong rally? Those are the things I'm looking at on Ultimate 42 Vision, and there's some key thresholds that need to be met for this to cross into a real bullish scenario. Like, this needs to stay below 182 for sure. If it gets back up to 185 or anywhere near 188, that is going to be an alarming rate of hikes in the next few days, right? It's going to be alarming. It's going to start pulling things down. Then you're going to start seeing headlines talking about, the Fed's decisions coming up. The Fed needs to speak tomorrow as well. And then there's a few different things pushing up the S&P 500 index and the NASDAQ overall, which is the earnings, not just Apple's, but we just had AMD today, which gives some type of insight. We had Google, which is huge. They announced some big news of a split coming up if the vote goes through. And then they also have Facebook later this week, right? Which is Meta Platforms now as we know it. And these two, Google and Meta Platforms, will be a big indicator along with Apple and other major companies that reported last week, this week, and even the weeks to come. Now, let me pull up Ultimate 42 Vision, and that is the bull and bear indicator, so we could see where the strengths lie and the weakness and what it is that I'm looking at for confirmation. And you can now gain access to Ultimate 42 Vision as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 Vision indicators to receive the clarity you deserve within the volatility of the markets to maximize on opportunities no matter which direction stocks are going. So the S&P 500 index on the 30-minute has been under a bull and bear indicator about 3 times since this dip. 2 bull indicators and 1 bear indicator pulling back, and now a bull indicator negating this recent bear indicator when it was up at 4,400, came down to 42, and we're pushing up to 45, right? And a lot of strength here on 42 Vision, by the way, as well. Things are moving really, really fast. Now, I've stated in previous videos that we needed to watch if it was going to be a fake out like it did here from 45 to 47. And we're going so far up almost 10% from the lows. 42 to 45, we're almost 10% up. It's about a 5 to 8% move so far from the lows to the peak so far of where we're at. And is this going to continue, right? Well, it needs to break through 4,600 to get itself up through that resistance level, fill up this area, turn it into a support, and continue the strength up. So that is something to watch going into tomorrow and the next few days throughout this week. But there are some bigger picture situations that I'm watching that need to be analyzed and paid close attention to, okay? And it's the same thing for the NASDAQ. As you see it here, it's had 2 bull indicators, 1 bear indicator, and the double bottom effect, and it's bouncing up, right? So the overall market is kind of following the same direction. They don't always do that. Sometimes the SPY goes its own direction and the NASDAQ goes its own direction, but they're both kind of tugging and warring there back and forth, moving in the same possible directions overall. And that is driven by the rate hikes, the fear, the inflation, and also the 10-year treasury, as we saw, which is spiking up pretty fast right now as I'm doing this video. I mean, it hit a new low today and it spiked up huge. Let me see if I can pull it up again here. It actually hit a new low here of 174 and just spiked right back up to 182. That can actually end up being priced in tomorrow if things continue. I mean, it's kind of cooling off. We'll see. but that big run could actually slightly affect the market's momentum that we're already in the next few days. And if it continues to spike up, it's going to be a big risk off environment. We're risk on right now. Things are actually looking pretty strong and trying to rally. A lot of investors are looking at this as a bull trap, and this is the way I'm confirming it with 42 Vision. I'm going to continue to track 42 Vision and watch it. But on the 4-hour, we got a bull indicator. Okay, this is one of the biggest things I was looking for, to see if we broke out of this consolidation. We're getting strength, but we're still under red with green borders. We need to shift into dark green and bright green, but we are under a bull indicator. But the last time that happened, it was pretty weak. This one's been a little bit stronger. We'll need to see if the inflows are enough to push it higher and stay under this bull indicator, negating the last bear indicator, and no bear indicator popping up, right? We are seeing that type of strength. Okay, that's one thing. But the 1 day is another situation. We have not gotten a bull indicator here on the 1 day. We are getting out of the white with red borders, going into red with green borders, but we have not gotten a bull indicator or dark green popping up just yet. And I've used the 1 day as an example because the last 2 times that white with red borders has happened was way back here and all the way back in the 2020 crash of March, right? And the bear indicator popped up at 3,300 and lasted all the way to 2,200. And in the middle of it, there was a slight fake out, big bull trap there of red with green borders trying to come back up, and then things just collapsed even further down. Now, I'm not saying that's exactly going to play out right now, but that's the main thing of seeing if the bull indicator pops up, because if it doesn't, the bear indicator is still dominating as it did here in the 2020 crash, and here we are seeing it play out this way. If no bull indicator pops up, this bear indicator continues to dominate and continues to rule over the market of the charts as we see it right now, right? Then another thing too is the 1 week. This does not pop up every single day, but this is actually a slight reversal here trying to form. The only thing is that this bar is really small, and this can actually change very quickly. All it takes is some pullback or dip and just pull this down, even though it's a smaller bar, into a red without green borders, just red with red, and then it just continues to pull downwards. But it's trying to bounce back up. You can kind of see it there, but it got a bear indicator on the 1 week, and that does not happen every single day. The last time we got one was in 2020, in March, in the crash, and then right after in April and May, it got a bull indicator, and that bull indicator has lasted since then until now. And that's the key thing I'm going to be watching. When are we going to get our bull indicator on the 1 week and the 1 day together, signifying some type of strength and a possible bull rally for the next several months and year? But it doesn't guarantee it's always going to play out this way, because some bull indicators last longer than others. Some are shorter and some are even more short term. But when these 1 weeks do pop up, they don't pop up for no reason, and they don't pop up every day. When they do, they tend to last for several days and weeks and months. Now, the one time that we got a bear indicator during a situation of rate hikes, the most recent one was way back here in 2018 towards the end of the year, and that one lasted from October to December. We just got one now. This could mean that we're in the beginning of a broader correction or crash, or it can just be volatility, but this does need to be negated by a bull indicator to go ahead and remove its domination over the chart. This reversing and a bull indicator popping up within that reversal, right? But until now and until then, there is going to be one thing dominating on the 1 week, and that is a bear indicator. And I've never seen it last for only one bar. I've always seen it last for several bars, and these were the few times where it rarely did not last, but still, you still had a chance to see how long it lasted. I mean, there's a few bars here, and it was with white with red borders. This was the only time back in 2014 where it popped up a little bit towards the end of it, and it went to a low here from way up here at 1900 to 1800, and then bounced back and got negated fairly quickly with a bull indicator. But other than that, in these type of positions, during a tapering, during this correction slash crash that we've been in on the S&P 500 index, as well as the NASDAQ. This is just probably the beginning of a broader correction slash crash, and we're going to have a lot of volatility, and I'm going to continue to track 42 Vision on the 1 day, on the 1 week to see what's going on. And we've been under a bear indicator for about 2 to 3 weeks now with the NASDAQ as well. So we're getting into bear territory with a lot of these. This bounce back recently has been awesome, but it doesn't signify that things are just getting better and that they bottom. This is going to create a possible huge bull trap for those that are not seeing it coming. But we need the 1 day and the 1 week to be negated, those bear indicators to then turn into bull indicators, and the 30-minute and 4-hour to continue in their trajectory to the upside. As always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.